എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. Engineer A. Suhair, whom I know as a even by during my college days, Professor V. K. Damodaran, who gave me the first recognition in my life when I was awarded the Young Scientist Award of Government of Kerala in 1991. Professor M.S. Valyathan, who makes, when you read his work on Charaga, Susruta and Vagbada, make ourselves look very, very small in whatever we have done and encourages us to reach further heights in scholarship, academics and research output. Dr. John Samuel, globetrotter friend of mine, Professor M.K. Abdul Majid and Sri K.M. Ajir Kutti. There are too many names I would like to refer, but for want of time I don't. From Professor Umman to my friend Dilip, my family, my parents, my well-wishers, friends, students. I initially thought I should open my speech by saying that in public life, you get very unfair criticism. It is balanced with undeserving awards. This is one of them. But then I thought, after hearing the explanation about the idea of the award, it seems it is more like an internal assessment rather than the end semester assessment. There is still more time to go forward. So I accept it with great amount of happiness, and I would like to assure all my well-wishers as well as the Beckham Molloy Foundation that I have listened sincerely to the aspirations of the foundation, and I would work with the foundation to do whatever small thing that I can in the years to come, and I receive a end semester assessment also in future. My area of work is, my platform for my work is the University of Kerala. Many times people ask why I am dabbling with science and, with history and social work in my small ways. I would just like to say, before I say something about what I would wish to do, based on the encouragement given to me by this award, I've moved around in many places in Trivandrum. It is very close to my heart. Because I believe it as a city, people have been very unkind to it. People in Trichur or Palgad, I've worked there, they always talk about river Nila with so much of affection. But the river that gives us water, the river that gives us the sand to build houses for a very long time, and the river where most of us would really be flowing at the end, is not something which has been cared for. But when we walked around, I would like to share with you that I have learned a lot. Very practical things which are useful in day-to-day life. When I went to Vizhinjam, I saw the greatest example of communal harmony in Trivandrum. The oldest rock-cut temple in Vizhinjam is now not a very active temple. It is under the Archaeological Survey of India. The lamp there is lit by a follower of Islam, staying right opposite that temple. That moved my heart and reassured my secular outlook when I saw that. Similarly, when I studied about Swadhitrina, I was always amazed why he invited John Roberts, a missionary from Nagarkovil, to start a school, Maharaja's Free School, which later became the University College. Because to my understanding, Swadhirinal was a very orthodox person, had lot of he was ridden by a lot of beliefs of those times, many of which we cannot accept today. How could such a person invite a missionary who's put as a condition that if he starts a school, he must be given permission to teach Bible in the school? Swadhirinal not only purchased 100 Bibles from government fund and gave it to the school. So I asked my great friend, Sri Perappangodu Murali, what his opinion about this is. Politicians possibly see more than what we scholars and academicians can see. He told me that, this is the greatness of that person. He possibly would not have been happy that somebody got converted to another religion, he himself being a very devoted Hindu. But he understood that after Velithambi, there was no chance that we could fight the British with weapons. There were no weapons as well. And he understood the only weapon that we had was education. So even if some people converted, he read that even those people who became Christians would take up fight against the British. That is precisely what happened after 100 or 150 years. I think he was also a man of Renaissance, possibly because of the period in which he was born to. I would like to pay my respects to the great Renaissance leader, Vakam Maulavi. I would wish to call him Sudesh Abhimani Vakam Maulavi. As well as I would like to pay my pranams to Dr. N.A. Karim, in whose name this award is being given. I am very happy that he is a very close friend of my father and that my father is here to witness the occasion. I would like to just say two things before I close. This is not a time for a long speech. My platform, as I said, is the university. I feel that we must know where we are if we want to reach somewhere. Normally we say we must know our destination, we must know our route. I think we must also know where we are. I know where I am. Our university, I believe, is 400 times behind the class of universities that Professor Vallithan, for example, mentioned, MIT or Harvard or Stanford. 400 times. And how do I come to this conclusion? Today there are at least very coarse measures that we can use. You throw the name of our state universities into Google Scholar, which is a website dedicated to scholarly publications. We get somewhere around 10,000 hits for the word Kerala University or Cochin University of Science and Technology, and we get 26 lakhs hits for Stanford. This is approximately how it stands. Professor Vallithan mentioned about patents in context of social audit. Kerala University, in its 75 years of existence, has produced 7 patents, or rather I would say filed 7 patents. One of which is Professor, not one, I think 3 of them is Professor K.N. Rajsekharan is here in his name. 7 applications filed. And whereas MIT at an average produces 400 patents every year. What does this mean? Does this mean that we should all rush to MIT and work? No, not necessarily. I believe that tells us come back from MIT, be here and reform this place. I believe God is a socialist and he has divided intellect uniformly all over the world. There must be good intellect here also. But there is no environment for us to develop that intellect. I have read the struggles that Professor Vallithan has gone through in setting up the Sritra Institute of Medical Science and Technology. Compared to that, I think the kind of crisis that we face in the university is very minimal. And there is no excuse for us not to work here. When I wanted to stay back, I had a dilemma whether I wanted to stay back in Cambridge and try to become a professor there. My father said Cambridge would manage itself without you, but perhaps Kerala University would miss you. That is what keeps me back in the University of Kerala. I would like to promise the well-wishers and the Vakam Maulavi Foundation that I wish to use the partnership with Vakam Maulavi Foundation to work towards the improvement of school education, or at least to study and propose solutions for the issues of school education. Why I say so is, university is of course a great platform to work, but we get students who come from schools into the universities, and the schools have done enough damage on them that there is more hope that we reform the school education itself. In 1992, something very strange happened in Kerala. In 1992, we had made schools for 58 lakhs of students in Kerala. Kerala was full of schools and the schools were full as well. But from 91 onwards, our parents decided to produce more. We had started getting lesser number of babies. And today, average Malayali parent has 1.6 children. This really means our population is fast decreasing. It has already decreased. We have 38 lakh school-going children today. When I was in school, I remember that in July or June, the newspaper carried a report saying 6 lakh kids going to school. But this year, June, if you look, you will see that the news report says 3 lakh children went to school, almost half of it. If the figures might still be approximate because there are schools which the government does not know are being run. So if you add that number also, there might be 3.5 lakh kids. A severe crisis has come into the schools basically because of this demographic turnaround. The demographic turnaround itself is a matter for study, that it is considered to be the demography development paradox. That when development comes, the population really goes down. We must be really be happy that in terms of this, we are well ahead of US and UK. For Kerala, not for India. For India, the fertility rate is 2.4. For Kerala, it is 1.6. Both US and UK have higher rates of fertility. And today in the newspaper, it says in China, the government has really understood this and asked people to, everything goes by instruction, so ask parents to produce 2 babies each. So we suppose that it is settled there. There is no more debate and no more scope for research. I believe that if we can do small things to improve our schools, but I really, my heart bleeds for the fact that the hopes are really, really very limited, because we have produced schools with varying quality. And the aspiration of the people of Kerala is something that we can keep talking about, but it requires really great Renaissance leaders to come and transform. Because it is a time where we live, where some parents say that, or really believe that, they are happy to have their children fail in BTech rather than pass in BA. Because that is taken as a measure of social upliftment, that you go for an engineering program. Who can change that? I think a person of the eminence of Gandhi or Narayana Guru or Vakkam Maulavi would have to come forward and take up this issue. Then only teachers or other small level of social activists can really contribute to that. My wish is that there must be a white paper on the schools which is devoid of the LDF, UDF framework of discussions, and really talk about, the focus be on education, and then we really talk about education, what can be done at the level of school education. If it can be improved, if all the right values can be imbibed at the level of schools, and especially in the modern times, to really talk about, trigger the creativity of the school children. I would like to close by referring to my own outlook of it. When I was a young lecturer, I want to be very famous. I wanted all my students to really appreciate me and recognize me as a very, very knowledgeful, helpful, and very smiling, kindly person. I do not know, my students are here, I do not know they believe it. But during those days when students used to come and ask me, can you please suggest a topic for a project or a seminar? I had a bunch of photocopied papers which I kept. I used to give it to them. And they all went back and said, he's very special, he's very good. But I think I have been very bad to them. Because basic principle that education was self-realization, was not giving of knowledge, had not dawned on me at that point of time. And today, I say this with recalling of one of my great mentors, my father's colleague, Professor Vedamani Manuel, who had a great, who's also a friend of Professor N.A. Karim, who had this great gift of saying things with a touch of humor. So in his style, I would like to say, I believe that in our state, the education system is considered as, the model is Puttugutti model, where knowledge is considered to be rice powder and the student is considered to be the Puttugutti, and the entrance examination is the chill that you put at the end of the Puttugutti, so that the education minimal level is kept, And then you put rice powder, and halfway through the year you have NSS, Youth Festival, and all that, which is the Tenga Pira. And if you fill the Puttugutti, and at the end of the semester or the year, the university comes with the steaming water, which is the examination, and then you put it at the bottom, and then the put is made. Sometimes, when you push it out, when it falls apart, the etymology comes from possibly from this model. Is this what education is? I look back at my career, I think I also believed so, that this was education. Now I realize that education is not so. The students who are in front of me, they are diamonds, Vajram, Gomedagam, okay, and my role is actually to provide an environment which is slightly caustic, like an acidic solution, where these unshining diamonds are thrown into, and then they gradually start realizing their own brightness and their own value. And we are only a chemical agent to really produce that. And therefore, when students come and ask me, give me a topic for a seminar today, I ask them to sit down and ask them to write 25 topics for the seminar and then only get up. And then I will say that once you write, you are not going to write 25, but when you reach 10, tell me, and then I will have a discussion with you on what you have written and advise you which one you can pick. This is the transformation that has happened. I really wish that if creativity, if you turn around education and make the high point of it as realizing one's own creativity, for which a large number of initiatives have to be taken up. I am aware of the great challenge because the education system is primarily owned by half of the civil service, which are the school teachers, and a transformation on them alone will give us a way to enter the education field and start a reform. And this great disparity in quality of education that makes our parents really take very, I would say, when I say unscientific, some people say it is very scientific. I am myself confused that, children are sent to private schools, English educated schools which give English education. In the Kerala University, 175 professors are there. Only one teacher sends their son to a government Malayalam medium school. All the others, they send it to private English medium schools. In the model high school, where people in Changalchula are in majority, the slum is in majority, 300, 400 students. They have recently, it's a good sign also, they are able to take decisions according to their own aspirations. Because of the Tozhilurappu Paddhathi and Kudumbashree, their average income, it seems, has gone above 30,000 rupees a month. And the first thing they did was to remove the student from the model school and take them to a private English medium school. And this is something that we have to understand, what the society's aspirations are, right or wrong. And either try to change this or really work around this. I sincerely believe that we have to play the same game in the government schools. The government schools should all change its names to International Attakulamara School. That really touches the heart of the person in the lower strata who want to come up, then catch them into these public institutions. And so that, because it is a public institution, we can collectively do something to improve their quality and how they reach out. I do not look down upon these people whose aspirations are like this, because I even believe that if Ayyangali came back today, if you go to the Urutambalam school where a child was denied entry, and today he would be very happy that the moment he reaches the gate of the school, the PTA and the school teachers would jump on him, catch him and take him into the school and put that child Panjami into that bench which was once denied to her. But I believe that the end of the story is not that Ayyangali himself would come walk around the school and burn the school himself and say that this is not what my society wants. Because every community has its rights for its aspirations. And we either need to, by a great social debate, influence that or cater to it. These are the only options that are in front of us. I assure that in whatever small way I can, I will work towards studying the school system and making small contributions in whatever way I can with the collective effort of my friends, colleagues and students to make changes in the educational system of this state. And I will continue to work with things of passion, that what passion drives me to study the heritage of the city and also the environmental issues of our state in very small ways that we can within the platform that I am given in the university. I very humbly accept the award that Wakaf Maulavi Foundation has given in the name of Dr. N.A. Karim, and I thank the organizers as well as all of us, all of you who are here to witness this function. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.